What's going on, guys? It's your boy Random Guy Kev, and this is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, relationships, adulting, life's ups and downs, and the ever-evolving world of just being human. Don't forget to check me out on all your favorite social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Today's topic is we're going to be talking about a Netflix show, Worst Ex Ever, and my co-host for this episode is
Dan.
Thank you, Dan, for joining me. And for those that don't know, it's a docuseries. It's a crazy docuseries. Just
Wild.
kind of, yeah, kind of following the worst roommate ever, which I haven't talked about yet. We should have talked about that too. But you know what? It is what it is. Worst ex ever, and what it essentially it's four different stories about again worst ex ever people that got into relationships with people and it didn't turn out as they expected. So we'll start with the first episode, and the first episode was based around this guy named Benjamin, who was a serial abuser of women.
Yeah.
He would get with them, do this ha ha hee ha, like, oh, you're the best, and da 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 da, and then he would get with them, and then like one like wrong move, like a guy would text you or guy would call you something, he would end up abusing you, like beating your ass. He was like overly jealous. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was overly jealous. He had insecurities, and crazy thing is a lot of these women would give him a second chance.
Yeah, that's like it's so I mean, it's crazy to like be in that. It's so hard when you're in like a relationship like that cuz like that person's probably done things like as a partner, like having a guy like Ben as your partner, like, you know, I don't know, you always want to believe that people are going to like change or be better.
You
um
you do,
and
but
but like I feel like there are some things that like there's no coming back from in a feasible amount of time. Like the turnaround time on like a domestic abuser isn't going to be like, okay, I'm going to change tomorrow.
yeah.
I'm gonna not be, just like, oh yeah,
And
that doesn't change.
do you feel like, I mean, if you get in a relationship with somebody, I feel like they should kind of disclose that information that they've been arrested for domestic violence or something.
Oh
And I
yeah,
don't even think he did that at any point with the women he was dealing with.
no, they had like no idea. Were just like, oh, look at this guy, he's really great and charming. Like, you should if you have some sort of like criminal history, like that should definitely be like that should
The
definitely be like a conversation that you should. I mean, that a person who you would perceive as like reasonable would have like
yeah,
be like, hey man, or hey, just so you know, like I'm not proud of this. This is what happened, but like obviously, if you hide it, you've got something to hide for some reason. Like, dude, why are you hiding that?
yeah, and I think it's like if you want to be transparent with your person, you want to be honest. Tell them straight up. Give them the option. I feel like you took away their option once you didn't say anything. You just kept it to yourself, and it was
Right.
that's
It's like
dangerous.
hiding. It's hiding like, and that's like, and that could be anything. You know how
Yeah,
deeply part of what some part of yourself like you hide from your partner, like, if that comes out at some point, like, they reserve the right to like make a decision on if that's no matter whether you've been together for like a month or 10 years, something comes out, they're like, okay, well
yeah,
now I have a decision, and now I got to make a decision, but you're not even giving them the chance to like know all of you, which is
yeah.
the whole point of the relationship.
Yeah, you didn't give them any information in the beginning to let them decide on, okay, I can keep falling for you or I'm going to go in a different direction. I feel like you have to give people the options when it comes to certain things going on in your life that, especially if you've been convicted of domestic violence before, like if you got mental issues, something like not just in regards to that, if you have some type of issue with yourself, let the other person know, give them a
Right.
choice because I feel like he removed the choice and
Yeah.
just was like, oh, he just kind of swagged out and just, Rico Suave them into a relationship. And I'm like, God damn, this dude.
Right. Like, and this is like a guy who had multiple like charges, and then
Yes.
they kind of got like a almost like the equivalent of almost like a slap on the wrist for these like charges of like
And that's the thing. It's like a lot of the things he did, law enforcement didn't even look up his background when he tried to hurt these women and like kind of blame them like, hey, no, she attacked me, she scratched me first or whatever. And the one
right.
girl, she got arrested and she was arrested and booked, and until like she was in front of the judge, a judge looked up the history and was like, what? So nobody did their job. You got to dismiss it. And then when she went back home, and Mans just took all her stuff out of her apartment.
Right.
I'm like,
Like,
bro, you're nuts. Ain't no fucking way. And that's the
dude
thing. It's
was
like a lot
wild.
of a lot of these true crime things. Sometimes there's failure in law enforcement.
Right.
There's a failure from law enforcement, and it sucks. It sucks about that, but I mean, to each their own. Like this was episode one. This is episode
Right. This
one.
is the first.
And I'm like, it starts you off with that, but I mean, it picks up kind of slow, but to give you a backstory, but at the same time, it's like once you get deeper and deeper into it, it's like, oh, this man was nuts. And then I think it was the last person he dated. She found out he was arrested for domestic violence charges, and she told her. I think she told his boss, and he got fired. Then he proceeded to kidnap her and hold her in his in her house or his one of
Yeah.
their for like 3 days. Like
Yeah.
held her for 3 days, like bruh. And then I mean, thank God she had a friend that went in to check, and cops pulled up, and he's on the run now. But it's like that's nuts.
Yeah.
Like you are crazy.
Right. Like, like how do you even it's crazy like to think that this dude, it's like these guys have like track records of this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
like no, nobody like they just don't like law enforcement doesn't do their due diligence on it, and then they're just like then this like then happens. But getting kidnapped, like she was the one who figured it out, and then
Yeah.
she got kidnapped, and that's held for and tortured for like 3 days, and then like like irreparable, like she has some serious like
No.
defects and damage to like her body after what he did to her,
Yeah.
like
Definitely. Yeah. No. Definitely. Like that. That leaves you with psychological issues. Like, how can you trust people anymore? Like, you got to do it. You legit have to do a background check on people just to make sure they're not nuts.
right, you're just like, am I gonna do this again? Like that was kind of ugh.
Yeah. It
And
was.
then
I
they
mean,
like had he was using Tinder, and then he was using whatever Tinder or dating apps to like
to get
continue escaping to find people to help
people. Yep.
places to stay to help him escape. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just
Shit.
never know.
Shit was crazy, guys. If you want to see, like, if you start watching it, you'll see what happened then. But this is episode. This is literally episode
That's
one
that's
of
how they
worst
open
ex
up. They
ever.
open up like with that one.
Yeah. I mean, since we're talking about cops, let's get into episode two. Episode two, I was, I was, this one was very intricate because how do you impersonate a cop in front of other cops?
Nobody asked questions about this guy.
Yeah, and it's
No one asked questions like ever about this guy. No one was like, huh, why doesn't he ever do any of this stuff? Like, there's nobody asked questions about this guy.
yeah. I don't care if you're like undercover or detect. Like, there's got to be some information about you somewhere, and you're just taking the word of this guy because he flashed a badge. Supposedly he flashes a badge. He had an
Right,
imprint of a badge, but he never really showed his badge at any time.
right. He just pretty much like pretended, and they assumed, oh, he also has the gun. So
Yeah,
like he's like, oh, he's got to be the guy. He's got to definitely be in law enforcement.
yeah. I feel sorry for her because she was doing so much in her life before he came along, and then he came along and kind of swooped her off her feet. Oh, I'm a
Hmm.
cop. Da 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 da. It's like, bro, like go ruin somebody else's life. I hate like, and that's the thing. Do we need to do background checks on people before we say start dating them?
I
Just
feel
based off these two
like,
episodes.
yeah, some people like these 2 episodes alone. Luckily, we're in a, it's pretty easy for us to like figure out some of this stuff now. It's easy to let like, man, like we could go, those that was years ago, and now I could just, it's so easy to look up somebody's like, if I really wanted to. Not that
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've had that happen personally, but like, man, so if you wanted to, you could find as much information about somebody as you like could ever, more than you'd probably ever need to know.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think I feel again sorry for to both of these women in this two of these past episodes because it's like I feel like you get charmed so much, so well. You're just like, damn, you just want to believe everything somebody's saying and what they're
Right.
doing. You ignore the red flags, and you're just like, oh, I mean, they're good, they're awesome, whatever. And then this, I think it was his wife that called her.
Right.
It was,
They
it
had
was
no
they,
idea that they had been dating for a considerable amount of time, and she was like, it was his wife called her. That was so
yeah.
wild. I was like, what? I'm like, how is this keep getting worse?
And that's the thing. It's like if you spend all day with somebody, and it's like, oh, they have a whole relation, they have a whole nother family. It's like that's weird because like you spend all your time with me. How are you able to go back to your family? When do you go back to your family?
Right. It's like there's no like like I don't know how with that like how do you hide? I don't know how people do it. Like they hide a whole family. Like
Bro, that's too
they
much
hide
work.
hide their whole life. How do you? They can just do both, and it's like despite how much time they spend together, like that's
Bro, that's
insane.
too much work. Too much work to try and hide your family from someone, and then try to have multiple relationships at one time. That's oh no, that would stress me the fuck out.
Right? Yeah, yeah. You're like I
I'm
would not be able to maintain that.
because I like my alone time, and like during my alone time, I'm not using that to go see another person for what?
Right. Your
Like,
time's you time.
and then he got he's introducing himself to the entire family and stuff. Like, bro, are you nuts?
Right. Everyone knew him. Like they were like so happy to like see him. Like they thought he was such a great guy.
And then he had close. The other thing is he had close friends that knew about it, and they thought it was a joke. Like he wasn't really running game on his woman. He's like, nah, he not really doing that. But nah, he really doing that. Like he's saying he's a cop. He does this, he does that, and stringing him along, bruh. Nah. And then as the relationship proceeded, and she cut him off because she found out that he had a whole family.
Right.
He what was it?
He tried to
He
frame her for a bunch of
yes, but before that, he tried to he wanted her back so bad that she kept saying no, 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 and like he showed up at her door one time, tried to return her keys. He said, "Oh, I want to return your keys." Proceeded to rape her and duct tape
oh
her,
yeah, that's right.
and then left. And then there was an he got charged with rape, but then that's when he decided to try and frame her for a bunch of robberies and impersonating a police officer
Right.
in another borough, and that's when she was put in jail. The crazy thing about that is that the cops themselves did not do a good job
No. They
because
were
they had
clueless.
no evidence. They had no evidence that it was her.
Right. And even when she had the alibi, if she had the alibi, it still wasn't enough, and they still locked her up. They were
Yeah.
like, they still put her away when she had a solid alibi.
Oh yeah, she had a solid alibi that she was at a casino in Connecticut,
Right.
and there's video footage of her, but still they're just like, nah, does it's not you. I'm like, bro, oh y'all just want to close the case.
Right. It's like it's crazy how like it's the laziness. It's like the incompetence. It's just like, oh my gosh, dude. Like that's terrible that you're like there's video evidence of this woman at a casino, however, 3+ hours away,
Mm-hmm.
and like you were still like, you know what? It was probably her. We're still gonna lock her up. We're still
It's
gonna lock her up
yeah,
anyways.
we're still
Video
gonna lock her
evidence
up.
of her. We have, people. It's like that. Everything checks out. She wasn't there. She was. I just, it's crazy. Like the incompetence. The. It just seems like that in that case specifically, just like there was so much lack of effort on
Yeah,
part of
there was
law
so much lack of effort,
enforcement.
and then it was like now she's in jail for 7 months
Right.
on these false charges. Yo, everybody need to get fired.
Yeah.
Everybody
Everyone.
and their mom needs to get fired for not doing their jobs.
It's just so crazy that like there's no the it's just like the recourse is just it's crazy that like just the way that the it's just so aggravating how like people are wrongly convicted all the time, and like, dude, I want my life back.
Mm-hmm.
How they should be like, hey, sorry we locked you up for 7 months
They don't even say
falsely.
sorry.
Yeah, they just say go.
Yeah, go ahead. You're good. You can leave.
Right,
No
go
sorry,
be
nothing.
free.
And it's up to you to sue them. And what she did, she sued them
Right.
because I mean, you wrongfully arrested me, detained me, and they try to put pressure on her to like, lawyer. I like that's the first thing. Everything I've learned from watching true crime and TV shows, lawyer,
Lawyer.
lawyer immediately.
Oh
You're
yeah.
not gonna you're not gonna have me sweating in a hot box for 24 hours trying to get me to confess to something I didn't do.
Right.
Lawyer,
Lawyer right now. That's the first words you'll hear
lawyer.
out of my mouth is lawyer.
Word.
Call my
I feel like
lawyer.
everybody should know that by now. Call a lawyer. Get a lawyer. No matter what if you're innocent, lawyer.
Right.
Even lawyer,
Even if you're not innocent, shut
lawyer.
up, be quiet, lawyer.
Yeah, lawyer. That's the one thing that you have to ask for because I see so many of these videos where and they had video of her getting questioned. Did they have a full video
I think they had video of her getting questioned,
or
and
was
she
it
didn't
like a
have a lawyer or
reenactment
anything.
type thing?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, I feel like it was a reenactment, low key. But I mean, they had her there for like questioning her for like I think it was like 24 hours,
Yeah,
almost
something
24.
like, yeah,
Like
they had her there like all day, like a
yeah,
full
and
day.
then I think another detective showed up, questioning her and was like, "This not our person."
Right, yeah, the detective that did the work like figured that was like, hey, you guys got it wrong, and
Yeah,
they
this
were
not
still,
this not our person. And they
ugh,
just kept going with her. I'm like, bruh,
right,
that's crazy. That's no. But the thing is, what's Jerry? He the fact that he planned this shit out with people he knew
right.
who lied for him was nuts.
Yeah, and like found the way to like piece together the imperfect bits of information that were like that just like ended up they were finally like, oh yeah, this implicates her. It's her license plate after having it like fragmented in a vague description of her. Like,
Yeah, I mean, um, yeah. Once it's just like, damn. So he did again. He did all of that, so it would ruin her reputation for the rape case that he
right,
was accused of. It's like,
yeah,
yo, you're diabolical, my guy.
yeah, dude is evil. Like that's straight up like that's terrible. He's
So
like,
yeah,
I'm just gonna not do this.
and again, in prison for 7 months for something you didn't do, and then when you finally do get out, I mean, I'm happy that the people that were fighting for her kept fighting for her, and were able to show that, hey, she's actually innocent. Like,
Right.
here is the evidence. And they finally took it and was like, oh shit, you know what? Yeah, let's just let you out. No
It's
sorry, nothing.
crazy.
Fuck that. I'm suing all y'all. All y'all I'm
Right.
suing.
Lawsuit like hella
And
right out.
and I'm happy, and I'm happy she did that.
Right.
I'm happy she did that. I mean, that dude was a scumbag. And again, in the last two episodes, episode 1, episode 2, scumbag ass dudes.
Absolutely. These dudes are
But
terrible.
yeah, I mean, for real. But in episode 3, this one was kind of sad because, like, I mean, they're all sad, but this one was sad because the dude was like, kind of like a homebody. He was kind of nerdy.
Yeah, he
He's
wasn't a
kind of
very
nerdy
like
dude.
social person.
Yeah, like socially awkward. And his coworker put him on with her daughter, and you could tell, like, okay, he's happy. That man ain't never seen a date in his life. He never been out with a woman in his life.
Right.
That's the energy it gave me.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was red flags in the beginning, even before they got married, that she was also, like, quote unquote shy and try to remove him from his friends and family. Like, yeah, like, try to isolate him from his friends and family. Anybody that tries to isolate me from my friends and family, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, that's that just can't like, and it's so hard, like, in that moment, like when you're in it, like it's so hard to like realize that that's like what's happening sometimes
Mm-hmm.
when you don't have a lot of like social kind of like understanding of the world and like that, like.
Yeah.
But she would like not, when she met the father, she was like whispering questions,
Oh, yup,
the
yup.
answers like into his ear, and then like he would say it to his father, and his father, and the husband's friend right away, where they kind of knew, they were like, this is
Shit
kind
is
of
weird.
weird.
Yeah,
They
why can't you
knew.
talk to us directly?
Right, like I was like, who does that? Who
Yeah.
does that?
But he was so like, what's the word, like, infatuated with her, that he didn't see anything wrong with it.
Right.
I mean, we get blinders on for people that we truly love, and like, we feel like, damn, this is it right here. We get blinders. It happens.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is, listen to your family, because if they notice red flags that you don't notice, you're gonna have to say something. You're gonna have to, like, step it up. You're gonna have to take them blinders off, something. But I mean, soon as they got married, though, they started having issues,
Right. That's when
and
it
that
started,
sucks.
like, and even after they had a kid, they like, they got divorced or separated after like 2 years
Separated.
of
Yep,
being
yep,
together.
yep. And they had a kid. You would think it'd get better. Nah, that shit got worse.
Mm,
Now they're fighting for custody. Now they're fighting for
right.
custody of their child, and she keeps lying about him to the judge, that
Right.
he's been abusing her, has been doing inappropriate things to their daughter.
Right.
Like, once you accuse a man of doing that, they will always believe you without facts.
Right.
Let's be honest. Without facts, no evidence. If a woman accuses you of sexual assault, it's kind of over for you.
Right. Because even if it's like not something that's true, like it's like that tainted like vision. It's like you will
You,
always be perceived as that. Like that happened to like a teacher that I like worked with. Is some students said some things happened when they had it on video that nothing of the sort was even like that teacher was like cleared, and like how do you go back to like being a teacher, like that
yeah.
follows even when they were like everybody, police, everything exonerates you, like still, dude, like
No,
yeah,
that's
that
that's
follows you.
heartbreaking for a man. For a man to, like, somebody tell you, you sexually assault. You're just like, what? No, like, especially if you, like, never been raised that way, or never crossed the line with women. You treat them with
Right.
respect. sexual assault in at all is like, bro, that shit's nuts. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be around people. I just want to be by myself. Like, I don't want to get accused of anything, because
Right.
if you don't have evidence, then it's like, and I'm happy that they didn't find any evidence of him
Right.
doing that, and they found out it was a lie, and it made her custody of her child worse because she was lying. So now, when it was 50-50, now she's not even getting to see her daughter all the time. Now it's 100%
Right.
him,
He got sole
and
custody.
yeah, and now she can only visit her child with supervision.
Supervision. Yeah.
And it's like, damn, you fucked up for yourself by
Yeah, that's
lying on him.
big.
So I mean, she was already nuts. She was already crazy. Her mother was crazy. Like, it sucks that you had blinders on for that long. You couldn't see anything until you actually got married, and it was like, oh shit.
Right. You didn't
That's
really catch it till you're very much on the other side of it. You're like, wow, this was really bad.
yes. And the
And then
fact that
it got worse.
yeah, and then the fact that he killed the grandmother. The grandmother, oh man, yeah, she killed the grandmother.
Yeah, they shot the grandmother.
Yeah, that was so sad. Like that,
Like,
the grandmother was dating someone, the older gentleman, and they always would have calls at the same time every day.
right.
I'm
And
like,
that's oh yeah, yeah.
that's some like real like old school. Yeah, I'm gonna wait by the phone. You'll call me every day at like 7 o'clock. That's like,
Right. That's like
right?
old school.
That's old school stuff right there. Like, damn, they'd have calls every day at the same time, and he called her a number of times. It was like, yo, something's wrong. Left a voicemail. Hey, it's this time. I'm calling you again. Da da da. Thanks. And then he had his kids go over and check on her. And then her son pulled up. What else happened? His son pulled up.
Then they
He was
were
like,
then yeah, her son pulled up, and then or her grandson, and then like he went because the daughter was she was taking care of their daughter, and so the two it was May and Rosa like busted into the house and like began to started assaulting him, right?
yep, yep. They
Like they
started.
were
They
like
had tasers. They
they
had
were beating him.
batons. Oh, they were nuts.
Yeah,
Them women was crazy. And the fact that when the cops pulled up, they took them, all three of them down, because they don't know, they couldn't tell what was happening. But the Rosa and um, May, they try to act like, oh, he did everything. He attacked us. He
right.
did this. He did that. And it was
And
like,
then they
damn.
found all the weapons at their house and were like,
Yep. They found all the weapons, and they found the grandmother stuffed in a trash can. Bro, like
yeah,
that was
they were like they found her. That's insane. They packed her into a
they
trash
packed her
can.
into a trash can in her shed.
Right.
That's fucking like that's nuts. Like, how can you? It's scary. It's a scary situation. It's a scary
It's
situation.
you just never some people. It's crazy how much like you don't know what some people are just capable of.
Yeah, and it's you would hope you would catch all the red flags while dating someone, but yeah, no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen at all.
Yeah.
And let's get into episode 4. This is the last episode. These things are kind of long, but they're good, but at the same time they're sad.
Right. It's sad. It's lengthy, but it keeps your because you're just like it just holds your attention. You're like, how does it gonna get worse? How's this gonna go?
Yeah. This one, I probably only watched this one once because I watched the other ones twice. I had to rewatch those episodes because I was like, this is crazy. There's no way that this. No, there's no way. You think some of these episodes were like movies? Like, this can't be a real thing.
Right? You're like this can't be real life.
No, this can't be real life. This is made up. This is
Right.
made up.
You're like this is fake. This can't be real.
So this one was around the Amanda and her ex-husband.
Right.
Damn. Wow. Why can't I remember this one?
They they went out for nachos. They met. She gave her him Kevin. Amanda gave Kevin her number, and they
Uh.
kind of like started going out. Um, and like brought her home to meet the rest of Amanda's family.
Yep.
And her brother liked him, but Alicia was very she was like very suspicious of him. She didn't approve.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then they ended up getting married and had 3 kids.
Damn.
Yeah. And then that's when he kind of like after the third kids, kind of started happening. He was
Oh yeah,
very
and then he started showing his true, like his true self. Like he would have like fucking mood swings and
yeah,
would body shame her, tell her, "You fat piece of shit."
yeah,
Like,
right? Like
how do you have
like
3 kids with someone and you sit there and body shame them? Like, yo,
and body
you're
shame them
nuts.
while they're like pregnant.
Pregnant,
Like
yes.
that's insane, dude. Like
Yo, like
who are you? Who are you?
you're mentally ill. Like if you're body shaming someone while they're pregnant with your child,
Yeah,
like with your child. Like I never get people. I never understand stuff like that. Like if you didn't want to be with somebody, don't be with them. Don't fake the funk.
right. Yeah, just like own it. Just own it. If you're gonna be like that, like you can't. You just can't, dude.
Yeah, I think they divorced afterwards, and then he went berserk. Like,
Yeah, because she ended up with the children, right?
yeah, because he assaulted her. He assaulted her. She put a restraining order against him, but that didn't stop him. Um, he still uh, created a plan to try and kill her because he's nuts. He's crazy because she was able to show that he was crazy. And that's the thing. It's like you have kids, my guy. Don't you want to be alive for your kids? Like I get it, things didn't work out with her, but you still got kids. Like, do you not fuck with your kids?
Right. Like, ugh, what a mess, dude. Like, I don't get that. Like, you don't even care enough, like, to be a parent.
Yeah. And I believe like she was on vacation and she was staying with her friend or is it her
Right.
cousin, and he sent somebody over there to shoot her to
Right.
shoot her, and whoever opened the door he would shoot, and he thought it was gonna be her, but it
And it
was
was her sister.
was it her sister?
It was her sister.
Okay, and she killed her sister.
Yeah. So her sister got killed, and they had like the babysitter, like oh my gosh, and you're watching the babysitter like retell this of like
Yes.
she was there. She was like she walked downstairs to like this, and it was like oh god, dude, it's so terrible.
Yeah, and um I guess they were chatting on Snapchat. That's how they got caught.
Yeah. They timed the timing of all their messages on Snapchat and them posting they were hired by the ex-husband to kill him.
Yes,
That's
bro.
what that
That's
like that's wild.
when
And,
people.
like
Yes, you're
and then they're
subject.
like they're on Snapchat showing their racks. They're
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, bro." They're like, "Look at this. Look at this. We got paid, baby. You know what we did? You know what we did?" Pretty
yeah,
much. I'm like, "Oh my god. Oh my
and that's
god."
and that's the thing. It's like people in this day and age, the social media age, they give themselves away.
It's so dumb. It's like,
They give
why are
themselves
you
away every
posting
time.
yourself doing any sort of questionable slash criminal activity?
Yes, like you're an idiot.
Like, of all the things to do, that wasn't like some people like in the that are like, dude, criminals. I mean, obviously they're not that smart, anyways. Some of them, but like, man, some of them are really dumb. They're just like
No,
really
for
dumb.
real. Some of them are dumb as hell. It's like, bro, like, no, please don't. Please don't tell me you did that. Please don't
You're
tell me you,
like,
you
you're
posted
like,
your
for real?
crime.
Be for real. Be for real. You posted yourselves flexing your money after committing a crime. Like, that's a great one. That's gonna go down in the books. Like, good for you.
Yeah, like,
Don't let
you.
anybody stop. Don't let anybody stop you from achieving your dreams. Enjoy prison.
But that's the thing. It's like, if they didn't even do that, they would have never caught him.
Right.
They
It
didn't
would have
have. They
been.
didn't
They would
have
have had
really
no
anything.
idea.
They didn't. They didn't. They really didn't have anything. So it's like, bruh, for you guys posted this? Are you idiots? Okay, I guess whatever works. I guess. Okay, that it is. It is what it is. And so, like, yeah, I mean, she didn't die, but you know, it's just
Like,
one of those things where this man wanted to kill her.
right.
Now he's in jail. Thank
Right.
God.
And she has to live with like that was supposed to be me, dude.
That was
Like
yeah. That
that was he
sucks.
wanted
Like
me. I was supposed to be the one that was dead, and it was her like sister who's like her best friend. Like, ugh, jeez, that hurts. That's hard.
yeah, like bro, that's hard. Like that hurts your chest. That hurts your insides. Like damn.
Like that's like
That
a
yeah
pain that just never goes away. Like that. Ugh, feels
yeah.
so
I
bad.
mean, um, as we get to the end of this episode, guys, like this. So we were just talking about worst ex ever on Netflix. Definitely check it
Mm.
out when you get a chance. Then there's the worst roommate ever, which is on 2 seasons, which is nuts. It's probably
Oh my gosh.
yeah. It's crazy worst roommate. We gotta talk about that. You gotta watch that one. We'll talk about that one
Yeah, yeah.
because
That's on next on the
that
list.
yeah, that one is also just as wild. Um, but do you have anything you want to leave people with regarding the worst ex ever?
I mean, it's a good show. Definitely, check it out. It gets a little heavy. So just come prepared. Like it just when you think everything's okay, something happens and it might get
Mm-hmm.
worse. And like just seeing the people retell these stories, like you all have to make sure you please try to vet the people that you're gonna be with the rest of your lives
Yep.
a little bit harder.
Yep.
Just
Agreed.
like a general rule of thumb, you would figure get to know your person. But if you haven't like thought about that in a bit, like, what is your deepest, darkest secret? Ask your partner. See what they say. Like,
Yeah.
what are you hiding from me? Don't do that,
Just
but
you might have to do a background check on them.
right. Just think
Might
you might need to. The internet's free, baby.
yeah, it really is. But that's it for this episode. You guys can find me on all social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I will catch you guys on the next one.